The COBRA SPEEDZONE driver. Let's give it a bit of a test. We're indoors because there's 50-mile-an-hour winds and rain outside. This is the UK, we're in the winter. It's a shame. 6 focused areas of speed, COBRA is saying with this driver. Obviously the F9, the COBRA F9, last year's model, or 2 years ago model, was very popular. Should we see if this has got any better, or has it got any worse, or is it just the same? Let's get stuck in. Welcome to my channel. If you want to see more reviews, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there. If you're already subscribed, make sure you ring the bell so you don't miss the next review. Compares. If you want to see me compare this club up to other ones, again, in that comment section down below, let me know and we can just compare them, give you some good buying advice. Let's see how it does, shall we? So let's collect a bit of data as we go, show you the normal spin numbers, distance numbers, and if I can keep it on the planet, we'll also talk about tech, how it sounds, how it feels. Fraction cosmetic change as I look down at it to start us off. So we've got a new lineup line, got the C crowned King Cobra in there now, where F9 had the snake. Similar kind of lines on top. You see the graphite as well, you see the carbon coming through, you see this yellow lipstick around the outside. We'll talk about the tech as we go, because there is tech involved in these lines. It's a really good looking head. You know, it has to be said, Cobra do make very good looking drivers. Down by the ball, sits nice and square. Let's see what numbers we're getting out of this bad boy. Definitely got that kind of carbon sound, that nice medium to dull sound. And it has to be said, I do really like that. You do get that carbon sound coming through off this milled face. And I do think that sound appeals to, I would say it's one of the most appealing sounds in a driver. If you're going to chuck a net and capture as many people as possible, that kind of carbony, not too tingy sound, I think is what most people would kind of aim towards. Cool, it does sound and in turn feel very nice. So let's take a look at the tech, see what Cobra are saying about this club and how they think they've made it faster. So 6 zones of optimized speed is what Cobra are saying about this driver. So they've got this new infinity face. So it's a 95% larger milled area. This is giving what they call precision speed. So they're able to really control the face with the milling effect, and it's much bigger than the prior model. That's going to help with kind of keeping ball speeds up on different parts of that face in theory. We're also seeing milled leading edges. Now this is quite clever. So we've got quite a lot of slanting at the edges here as it's milled off the face. If you think about it, that flat front is going to be the slowest part of that face as it comes into the ball. To help with that airflow, they are trying to smooth that off around the edges. Now there's a T-bar speed frame, so it's a very stable frame. It's kind of T-shaped, you can't see it here, but basically there's a bar here and a bar around the outside, keeping it strong and keeping it stable, Cobra is saying. So we've got 360 carbon wrap crown. So the crown is carbon, but it's also wrapping around the corners here into the edges. They're saving a lot of weight, they're saying. So 10% more carbon saves 25 grams, which is a big weight saving. 65 grams moved low and back, trying to keep the MOI up on the club. Again, keeping those ball speeds up for you when you're not always hitting it out the middle. And stability zones, the weight is moved wide and back. Again, all talking about, so it's speed and stability. It's funny because the sell is speed, 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 but they're also trying to make this club very, very stable, which for lots of you, if that is the case, really is a bigger sell. We also get the 14 gram weight at the front, 2 gram weight at the back. I will change those weights around in this test so you can see the difference in spins, distances when we're moving those weights around. We also get a great changeable neck. This model is going from 9 degrees up to 12 degrees. So basically I've got every loft in between with upright settings in there as well, I think. So really easy to dial in. It is a clever neck system. It's pretty full of tech. They're really trying to hark on about this speed. Speed does really, really sell. All I'm getting from this driver at the moment, and we'll look at the numbers, is this a very good looking club that hasn't really changed that much from the one prior, and I wouldn't want it to. The one prior, the F9, looked great, sounded great. It wasn't as exciting in numbers as I think the world was trying to say. I think it was out there with kind of most of them. But again, it's just a very well-made, good-looking driver. So I've been hitting with the 14 gram weight at the front and the 2 gram weight at the back. I'm going to switch them over, get a different set of numbers and show you the comparison. So it just unscrews, comes out, and I'm going to flip them over. Flip complete. Let's hit some. So in theory now, this is in its most kind of high MOI, might add a little spin to the shot. It should be, I'm guessing, around 200 to 300 revs is your normal weight shift. Let's see. No difference in sound, to be honest with you, no difference in feel for me. The other point lots of people talk about with these drivers is the price point comes in at a very reasonable price point to where the world is at the minute, which I think if the numbers are good as anything else, there's an argument for why spend more, isn't there? If you're getting good numbers, good performance, what are you paying extra for in the other brands? And again, that's for you to decide and work out. This sounds and feels as good as anything I've hit. I mean, anyone who's seen my aerodynamics video where we're sticking things on the head, how much difference all this makes is really hard to measure. To be honest with you, hard to believe it's making any difference that you down that lens will ever know. Again, the face is all great, but again, I'm not feeling any difference in that. It would be over a season that you might notice a difference, but you'd have to really be dialing into the Arcos stats to know that and have plenty of stats going in to the experiment to compare it to. Is a great point, the Arcos on these clubs that they put these in. How many of you use them? Maybe let me know in the comments down below. Biggest thing with stats that I find is that they're often too honest for people and they stop using them. Right, we'll do one more with the weights this way round and then we'll compare. All you shaftoids out there, this is the shaft I'm using, 65 grams stiff. Just my pretty much standard shaft, even though I've got some tests coming with lighter shafts coming very soon with some pretty amazing results. Stay tuned for those. Right, one more. This is obviously weight back still. Let's compare these numbers. Let's see how much these weights are changing distance spin, those kind of things. And let's see what we're getting out of this super fast driver. Do like the changeable necks on the Cobras, all in one sleeve, going from 9 degrees up to 12. Like, it gives you such simple dialable options in this for the fitter and for any of you tinkerers out there. Right, let's take a look at the numbers. To start us off here, we've got the weight, the heavier weight at the front, so the lower spinning option, if you like. So the average carry is 270. Longest one 277, 278 in there as well here, 278 bomb ball. Let's just look at the club data here though, to put this in perspective. Anyone who watched my videos over a length of time, I'm swinging at 110 mile an hour on this test. That is faster than I normally swing. I am doing a bit of speed training at the moment and it's showing fraction. I mean, I've got 112 mile an hour swing speed in there, which for me is quicker than I normally go. Spinning at 2.3, so good medium to low spinning driver like you expect, launching at 15. I mean, 270 carry there, just really good numbers. That's solid. Much better than I was getting out of last year's F9. I mean, if you want to see a comparison, maybe post in the comments down below of F9 and this one. So last year's this one might be a fun test. Now, when I move the heavier weight at the back, so increase the MOI of that club, if you like, my spin went to 2.6. So yes, 300 revs, that's the normal move when it comes to those kind of weight shifts. And then I dropped back to 2.64. Longest one now 271, because I am just adding a little bit more spin, launching almost the same. And if we look at club head speed, 109.4 to 110.7, 1 mile an hour in it. So really that higher spinning club weight at the back, more stability, gives me a fraction less distance, but you could argue over time might give me a fraction more stability on those mishits. But to be honest with you, I would keep that lower weight forward, because 2.3 spin, lowest spin, I did get a 1.6 in there, a little bit low, and then a 2.7 and a 2.9 up there as my highest spinning. They're not too bad numbers. I can get very high toe strikes going on with these kind of, you see that one there, look right high up in the toe, that's my miss hit. Well, I have to be careful with low spin drivers, but I mean that's still carried 275, even though the efficiency is down at 1.38, that's my low spinning bomber. Yeah, good club. That is performing pretty well on the numbers with the weights in both placements, forward or back. Right, the weights flip back into my gaming position. We've got a pretty tight fairway out there, so let's do a bit of accuracy to finish. see if I could actually game this driver for hitting fairways rather than just smashing it down a range. Oh, that's a toe ball. And that is not coming back. That's hitting the right-hand trap just over, oh, into the water. That was a miss it. Doesn't matter what you do to your face, miss it's going to punish you. That's a nice shot, struck that well, little fade up to the middle right. Yeah, take that all day long. Cool, that's a 286 carry. I'm trying to get a little draw on this one. Not as much shape as I was wanting. I think it is trying to come a little bit left. It's certainly a fraction left of the other one and gone that bit further. Pretty straight. I'm a little fadey at the minute, so to hit a draw I got to feel quite hooky, so that is less fadey, more towards the draw than I'm normally hitting, if that makes any sense. Right, a little bit more out to the right and coming back, trying to draw again. Definitely got to turn that one. Yeah, here it comes. That's a nice drive. Get on that line. You can see, I mean, I mishit it, it goes in the trouble. I hit a good one, we get good distance, and I'm able to hit fairway and hit one little up the left fader. 287 total distance, sorry, 264 carry. It was total distance, not carry, I was looking at. But still, 264, nice. Right, I'm going a little bit more left side, just gonna move it back. Oh, I've overcut that. I'm gonna have to have another go at that. That's a waiver for the wrong reasons. That is in the ditch. Great hole, isn't it? Right, one more controllable fade. Yes, a slight heel strike. Just gonna catch. Kick back on, yeah, we're on the fairway. You see how much weaker that is with that strike as well. 247 little Healy cutter. Really good driver, as good as anything. Post comments down below if you want me to compare it to last year's F9, see if there's any improvements over that. I mean, I didn't really get great numbers out of F9, but we can try it again. I've got a different head now with that club. This is well made, plenty of tech. They're saying it's faster. I reckon I'm a bit faster. It's doing very well. Do you like the price point? Let me know in those comments down below. Is it something you could game? Again, let me know down below. I'd love to hear. 300 revs from the changeable weight, all the other speed things, fine. Just a good looking, good sounding driver. Kind of what we're coming to expect from Cobra these days, isn't it? Well done. One little footnote for anyone who stayed to the end of this video. Look at my carry now, 255 when we took a fairway into play. Furthest 265, shortest 238. I do think testing can be so misleading, depending on what alliances testers have with whatever clubs and what have you. Yeah, get it on the course, and if you're testing indoors, try to do what I did there. The more you can put it in that real gaming environment, you can see how much further I could go when I'm just smashing them down a range, and there's kind of, I'm just trying to see what I get out of the club. There's a time and place for that. Those numbers are important, but they're your gaming numbers. They're quite different, aren't they?